The NHL is still just that thing that's obviously the best of the best, and it feels like you're still a fan of it, and these people aren't real people. So obviously there's still a lot of work to do, and I hope to be there one day.
Bedard has arrived. If you want exceptional, there's exceptional. That kid special or what?
Just special every time he's on the ice.
Who else but Connor Bedard?
And the good times keep on rolling for Connor Bedard.
At what point did you think that, hey, I'm pretty good at the game of hockey?
Ever since I was 4 years old, it was something I loved, and that's all that I really focused on was, getting to be out there. And I think it's easy to, get carried away with all the social media and everything. So for me, I kind of just, want to focus on, the everyday, and be grateful that, I get to, play in the WHL every day, and try not to think about anything too far in the future.
The key point in your career when we go back is the broken wrist, and then how you kind of developed and worked around that. Do you feel that that's an important piece of what you are today?
I would credit it more to shooting pucks all the time, but obviously that's an injury, and you got to try to deal with that. But that was definitely a small thing that could have enhanced it a little.
Tell us a little bit about that routine in shooting pucks.
Yeah, I was always kind of out in my front yard when I was younger. My house has some windows on the front, so me and my dad broke a couple of them, and then we had someone who was able to kind of build one in the backyard. So pretty sweet setup back there.
Here's Bedard trying to dance his way to the net, and they score! Great pass by Bedard.
Usually it works the other way around. Kids watch what the guys are doing in the NHL and they copy it. I think you're going to see a lot of NHL players copying what he did on the half wall.
The timing and the effectiveness and those passing plays that he could create, spectacular.
Your playmaking, is that an element in your game that you think has developed, that you've worked on, or was that always present in your game?
I think people see me as more of a shoot first guy, but in my view, I'm kind of I try to make the right hockey play, and whether that's a pass or a shot, just depends what the defense is giving you, and obviously kind of how the game's going. But I feel like I just try to make the right hockey play.
When you look at all of the things you've done, have you ever just take a moment to stop and say, hey, this is pretty cool what's going on here?
My life's pretty busy right now. It's tough, but I think World Juniors, after we won, it's kind of like we were all hanging out in the room and looking at our medals and stuff, and it's pretty damn crazy. So I think little moments like that, you kind of realize there's some cool things, but for me, I try to look at it as there's so much more work to be done.
Of all the goals you scored, 100 in the WHL, 100 plus in the WHL, and internationally 30. I think about your first goal in the Western Hockey League. I think about the OT goal in Slovakia. Do you have a favorite?
Probably the Brandon one when my grandfather passed away. It was a pretty special game. It was 2 days later, I think, and my parents were going to fly me home just to be with them and whatnot, but I wanted to stay and play one more.
Evans back to Bedard in the slot. Snapshot, scores! Connor Bedard! What a game, what a win!
2 goals on a night that I'm sure has been incredibly emotional for him. And a couple of goals for Grandpa Garth tonight from Connor Bedard.
Score the OT winner for me was pretty surreal, and that was pretty special for myself and my family.
Played a big role in your career, a good supporter. How much do you think about it?
Yeah, a lot. I think, he was probably, the one in the family that would brag a little too much, about me. I feel like my grandma would always tell stories of him, like showing people my stats at the bar or something like that, just, people that don't care at all. So he was so into it, and, obviously I still think about him a lot, but, he's watching, and I hope I can make him proud, obviously.
I've heard what he's doing, and he's obviously playing very well, and looks like he's going to be a special player in our league. And but he's got a long way to go. And my advice for him would be to enjoy the junior days, because they truly are some of the best times of your life, and they go by quick.
Connor's obviously a special player. You see what he does on the ice. We grew up playing together. His off-ice habits are once again second to none. He takes care of his body like no one else, and it's the reason he's probably. He's the next generational talent.
Where does this hype for this kid rank in recent memory?
It's hard to put in words what you're watching here unfold. I honestly believe, guys, that whoever selects this kid in the draft come next June, it's going to have the same sort of impact that Sidney Crosby had on the Pittsburgh Penguins when he was selected there.
You're doing stuff and have done stuff that people have never done. Like that must feel, it's got to be kind of bizarre.
I mean, I don't think about it too much. I think, when people kind of put, me against someone, I'm like, wow. Or McDavid, for example, well, that guy's got 700 points in 20 games, so in the NHL. So, I think, what I'm doing right now is obviously not to the impact of that, but obviously it's cool to see your name with those guys. But obviously I hope to play against them one day, and that would obviously be a dream come true.